Smriti Nandi and I am going to speak about morning walk. If we don't possess a proper health, all our wealth goes waste. Our health is our wealth. If we stay fit and healthy, and only then we are able to carry on our task, which earns us something. Morning walks have been proved to provide all the necessary health to an individual because it helps to be disease-free and stress-free. Early walks gives heart every necessary health by reducing high blood pressure and high cholesterol, both of which contribute to heart disease. Early walks also helps to maintain our weight by burning serious calories. So friends, if we stay fit and healthy, and only then we can lead to a healthy life. Thank you.
Birbal visits the harem. You must have all heard or read about Akbar, the famous Mughal emperor, and Birbal, his minister. Many people at Akbar's court did not like Birbal because Birbal was very close to the emperor. Once two such people got together and thought of a plan to get rid of Birbal. "We need the help of the emperor's Baba," said one of them. A few days later, the two men and the emperor's Baba met and discussed the plans, and the Baba agreed to help them. One day, while he was cutting the emperor's hair, the Baba said, "Your Majesty, we are quite happy here. But do you know what your parents, grandparents and great-grandparents are getting on this heaven?" "How can I know that, you silly man?" said the emperor. "Can you tell what goes on the heaven?" "Some people can, Your Majesty," replied the Baba. "I have a clever friend who can send messages to the heaven and get a reply." Birbal visits the heaven. You must have all heard or read about Akbar, the famous Mughal emperor, and Birbal, his minister. Many people at Akbar's court did not like Birbal because Birbal was very close to the emperors. Once such two people got together and thought of a plan to get rid of Birbal. "We need the help of Emperor's Baba," said one of them. A few days later, the two men and the emperor's Baba met and discussed a plan. The Baba agreed to help them. One day, while he was cutting the hair of emperors, the Baba said, "Your Majesty, you are quite happy here, but what do you know your parents, grandparents and great-grandparents are how in heaven?" "How can I say that, you silly man?" said the emperor. "Can anyone tell what's going on in the heaven?" "Some people can, Your Majesty," replied the Baba. "I have a clever friend who can send messages to the heaven and get back and reply." After a few days, the Baba came to see the emperor. "Your Majesty," he said, "my friend is ready to send your messages to the heaven, but he needs a wise man to carry it. Can you ask Birbal to carry the messages?" He said, "He is the wisest man in the court." Birbal visits the heaven. You must have all heard or read about Akbar, the famous Mughal emperor, and Birbal, his minister. Many people at Akbar's court did not like Birbal as Birbal was very close to the emperor. Once such two people got together and thought of a plan to get rid of Birbal. "We need the help of the emperor's Baba," said one of them. A few days later, the two men and the emperor's Baba met and discussed a plan. The Baba said and agreed to help them. One day, while he was cutting the emperor's hair, the Baba said, "Your Majesty, you are quite happy here, but what do you know your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents are getting in the heaven?" "How can I know that, you silly man?" said the emperor. "Can anyone tell what goes on in the heaven?" "Some people can, Your Majesty," replied the Baba. "I have a clever friend who can send messages to the heaven and get back in reply." After a few days, the Baba came to see the emperor. "Your Majesty," he said, "my friend is ready to send your messages to the heaven, but he needs a wise man who could carry your messages. Can you ask Birbal to carry the messages?" He asked it to the wise man in the court. When Akbar heard it, he knew that the Baba and some others in the court were planning to harm Birbal, but he was sure that the Birbal would escape from all the harms. Birbal visits to the heaven. You must have all heard or read about Birbal and the Akbar. Akbar is the famous Mughal emperor and Birbal his minister. Many people at Akbar's court did not like Birbal because Birbal was very close to the emperor. Once two such people got together and thought of a plan to get rid of Birbal. "We need the help of the emperor's Baba," said one of them. After a few days, the two of them and the Baba met together, and the Baba also agreed to help them. One day, while the Baba was cutting the emperor's hair, the Baba said, "Emperor, you are quite happy here, but what do you know about your parents, great-grandparents and grandparents, those who are in heaven?" "How silly you are! How can you know that? What goes on in the heaven?" "Some people can be your majesty," replied the Baba. "I have a clever friend who can send the messages to the heaven and get back and reply." After a few days, the Baba came to see the majesty, and he said, "My friend is ready to help you, emperor, but he needs a wise man. Birbal is the wisest man in our court. Can you ask for Birbal to send back the messages and get back and reply?" At that time itself, the emperors know that the Baba and some other people at Akbar's court were planning to harm on Birbal, and that emperor was so sure that the Birbal would escape from all the harms.
Hi, happy afternoon. This is Daniel.
And this is Yoga Sudarshan from grade 5A.
Today we are going to read this reading card in Crazy Professor Reading Method. Step 1. Dramatic Reading. Once there was a lazy and foolish man. He was too lazy to work as a farmer. Switch.
He went round the village every day and did all kinds of small things for people. He was happy to make just enough money to live from day to day life. Switch.
Step 2. Dramatic Paraphrasing. "How much will you give me?" asked the lazy man. The lazy man asked the owner, "How much will you give me? How much will you give me?" Switch.
"I'll give you 2 nuts from each tree you climbed," the owner said, and there were 25 trees. The owner said to the lazy man that he will give him 2 nuts from each tree he climbs, and there were 25. Switch.
Step 3. Questioning. "Who said good afternoon, my friend?"
The owner of the coconut plantation.
Switch.
How many trees were there in the coconut plantation?
There were 25 trees in the coconut plantation. Switch. Step 4. Connecting. Coconut.
Yesterday, while I was going to my home in the way, I saw a lot of coconut trees.
Switch.
Friend.
I saw my friend in the mall. Switch. Step 5. Encouraging. "How much will you give me?" asked the lazy man. "I will give you 2 nuts from..."
Wow, Daniel, you are reading very nice. Woo!
Oh, yeah. Switch.
The lazy man agreed. He started to climb one of the trees. When he reached the top, he said to himself,
Wow, Yoga, you are reading